It's not every day you get to speak to Nobel Peace Prize winner. I interviewed Sasha Romantsova from the Ukrainian Center for Civil Liberties, and she's documenting human rights abuses and war crimes in Ukraine with the help of volunteers and other organizations. All right. On Friday, October 7th, the Center for Civil Liberties in Ukraine was named one of the winners of the 2022 Nobel Peace Prize. The center shares this honor with Memorial, a rights group in Russia, and an activist jailed in Belarus. Today, we are with the executive director of the Center for Civil Liberties, Sasha Romantsova. During Maidan, especially you, decided we need to keep track of the people that are disappearing, that are being illegally detained. And we need to find out where they're being taken and what's happening to them. Is your work now a lot like it was then? What are the similarities?
Partly it's totally same, but with other group of people. During the Maidan, we opened hotline Euromaidan SOS, and relatives call us about people who they lost any contacts because they was in Maidan. They don't know exactly where they are, what they arrested or what they some beaten or kidnapped or something. So we will really find a lot of people, more than 300. And 2014 later, we started tracking such topic like political prisoners, because the Russian Federation started to kidnap people, arrest people, illegally detain people, because they want to have, story for their own media, to speak about Nazi, or in that moment that was right sector really popular, like a topic, and that was interesting because they was more popular in Russia TV than in Ukraine exactly. And we started campaign Let My People Go. After this campaign, Safe Alexitsov, after this was campaign, and now still continue Prisoners Wars. After invasion 24 of February, we have a new group of people illegally detained. First of all, it's civilians who was kidnapped together when Russian forces was kicked out from north part of Ukraine in April. They took a lot of civilians together with them to the territory of Belarus, where they was exactly holding and tortured. And after this, they bring them in the territory of Russian Federation. Now we're trying to find them in different jails because they keep them in pretrial jails. So it's usual civilians, but same, a lot of them we see in video when Russia Federation trying to show that's war prisoners. Second group which we're working with people unfiltrate. So it's people who not pass so-called filtration. And one more group, it's children who was forcibly displaced from occupied territory to territory of Russian Federation. And fourth group, it's people who kidnapped and holding in the territory of occupied Russian Federations, Ukrainian territory like Melitopol, Kherson, which they control, hold the territory, and they kidnapped, they illegally detained people, tortured them, and we think that one of reasons, because they mostly these people, journalists, activists, some popular people, opinion makers in this region, so they trying to took from them like supporting of Russia occupation like regime. And now one of our work is exactly monitor and observe this list of the people. Now we have more than 600 such people. And except that we documented all war crimes. We have a coalition together with our partners, Ukrainian Helsinki Union and Kharkiv Human Rights Group. Together with them, we create coalition. Now it's more than near the 30 organization. We cover whole the territory of Ukraine and even occupied territory, and collect information about war crimes in each of all the territory of Ukraine. This is called Tribunal for Putin because it's like our main goal. It's exactly bring the justice, hold the victims of such war crimes. Now in our database we have 21,000 episodes.
But by keeping track of civilians and prisoners of war, this is very much an overlap with what the Red Cross does. Why is it necessary for a Ukrainian group to do this in addition to what the Red Cross does?
First of all, Red Cross in their methodology can speak about that totally. They need to to have access for both sides. It's their principles. They not spread information. They not share it. So sure, for all our instruction which we given people, relatives, disappeared people or killed people or people in hostage, or when people don't know exactly what status their relatives have, we always give them some points what they need to do, which kind of places they need to appealing that my relatives has disappeared. National Committee of Red Cross, it's one of exactly such place. So all our cases Red Cross same have. But if we will speak about advocacy of questions that we need to put attention for this problem, civilian hostages or war hostages, I mean war prisoners who and their humanitarian situation with their conditions, because if you see people from Azov, warriors from Azov who was back to territory of Ukraine, we think that Russian Federation not plan to give them back, so they not care about how they will, what kind of health they will have. So situation for war prisoners, it's disaster. It's disaster.
Okay, let's jump in there. And there's a difference between protecting human rights and civil liberties and what happens during a war. Are they differentiating between civilians and soldiers?
We don't know, because they don't give possibility to have a contact with civilians hostages. It's a big problem. In some of civilians who was exchanged told about that. So they wasn't just jail. So it's usual condition is in the Russian jail. I just need to it's, put accent like Russia jail. So Russia jail, it's not best place anytime. So if you have illness, if you have a problem, a lot of us, for example, see one of warrior who have before that broken arm, and in Azovstal, in the Azovstal, medics put them special holding by metal. So that was just a turn drop. They do that they take it from his hand, but they not medical, and that's why his hand wrong position now, and now he need a lot of operation to put it back normally, to give the possibility using the arm. So
do you think it could have been prevented, what's happening in Ukraine, if the international community would have reacted sooner?
Yes, and understood that not only Russian Federation not respect human rights. This situation happened in each country. Even in peaceful time, you have human rights only if someone guaranteed it. So democracy gives the possibility, gives the feedback. In autocracy, you don't have such possibilities, and people need to fight for that. And before Maidan in 2013 2014, from 1991, from year of independence of Ukraine, we have 19 different big peaceful demonstration in this square. So that's our mechanism in Ukrainian to change. It's not mean that that's perfect. It's not mean that it's exactly totally work. No, but it's beginning. In Russian Federation, it's not happened.
There's a pattern that's been established. When Russian troops are pushed out of areas that they've occupied, there are war crimes, human rights abuses. What is the process of documenting this? How soon are people from organizations like yours just behind the soldiers leaving?
When we come to such place, and in Bucha, for example, we was after 3 days, they was released. For all other people that was closed, but we take permission, and we speak with people first of all. So for us, more important, find all the people who have a possibility to give testimony. General Prosecutor Office, it's working police, working SBU, it's Special Secret Service of Ukraine, and working DBR, it's Bureau of State Investigation. So all of them working for documentation for crimes, but they not always they have full understanding, because previously they don't work with such methodology. So that's why we collaborate with them. We can speak with people and find exactly victims and find exactly witness to describe what happened.
Are there systemized war crimes happening?
We have our own database with all the definition of war crimes, crimes against humanity, crimes of genocide. And so when we collected lawyers working with exactly definitions, and we systemize them, and it gives us possibility to see some trends. For example, using by Russia forces schools like a place of where they put their headquarters, and using people like life shields, because people in the schools usually did basement using like bomb shelter. So when Russian forces come in and take the school, they trying to keep people still there because it's protect them by the shelling. Because Ukrainian soldiers know about that schools using for such bomb shelter, and we have this systematically in different places which was occupied. And same situation, for example, with kidnapping. Different place of occupation from whole the east and south part of Ukraine, they act similar. So that means that can be like after this in international criminal court, it can be evidence that was order, because it's systematic work.
You know things are bad when the human rights activists say they want guns.
If somebody shell you rocket, so you can exactly show them constitution or show them, Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It's not stop rockets. So a lot of these people start be human rights defenders and going be soldiers. One of them, for example, Maxim Butkevich, he was like anti-militarist at all, but now he changed his position. So yeah, it's a question about that. For working with human rights, we need exactly be alive,